Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are looking at the last Starship Early Access. I will be talking about this game inside and out, seeing all of its mechanics. So let's get into it. So instantly we have 5 different ships you can start from. First being the Praxis, which is the tutorial ship. You have the Sleek, which is supposed to be more of a build it yourself kind of ship, has multiple places to put engines, guns, weaponry. Intershapes, which I find is a really good cargo ship, but others might find it for a good battleship or something like that. And then the carrier frigates, which I find is a very good battleship because it has a lot of cannon holes on it. You can see right there. And then you have the shipyard where you can build any ship you want. You start off with 2 million funds, which is very helpful for if you want to, customize your ship to how you want it. Now you have to be careful not to spend your money too much in case you don't have enough money to actually put the proper utilities inside the ship. Okay, let's start off with the Praxis, seeing as it's the tutorial ship. So, we have to begin with 4,000 fuel, that's 7 FTL charges, and oxygen and food. Now, here's the thing. Oh yeah, we have water. Here's the thing though. This You need all these materials constantly. You also start off with multiple like air duct reactors. The construction of it is quite simple. Like you place down things like the engines require to be placed outside, which is kind of obvious if you think about it. I like the basicness of the mechanics on this. It reminds you of Prison Architect, which is what was based off of. This is created by the same people who built Prison Architect, so it does make sense. The medium tanks are very useful for if you wish to store fuel or oxygen or any kind of liquid or gas. The fuel loader is the basic loader for fuel, if you get what I mean. It's basically a fuel loader. You use it to gather fuel out of the fuel tanks into the medium tanks or into the reactors. You can just do it straight into the reactors if you wish, but I wouldn't do that because then fuel gets wasted, and it's like, see here, it's already have to store 3% of the fuel while also powering up the engine or the reactor. The ship has a basic setup, so power and fuel, but you also have to look into oxygen and CO2 levels and food, water, FTL, which is basically the fast travel. Well, I imagine that's what it stands for, fast travel. You then also have to watch out for enemies, and if you're gonna run out of fuel or FTL charges or anything like that. Like if you run out of fuel, you won't have power, so you can't use the FTL, and you can't use the engines. If you don't have oxygen, your crew will slowly lose oxygen in their spacesuits and eventually die. And if you have no crew, you can't fly the ship. And then if you are just out of water and food, your crew will starve and die of thirst. Then if you have no FTL charges, if you're not in a colony or a shipyard, you won't be able to buy a thing. You will basically just be game over. And when I said this is kind of like a tutorial part, so like a tutorial ship. They don't actually have a tutorial on this game, though this is the early access of the game, so they could add a tutorial or they could add anything onto the ship or onto the game, which I imagine they are going to add things onto the game soon enough, because there are things in the game that only AI have. So I imagine in the future you could get them, like for example, fighter drones. You can get drones, but they're like normal drones that just fly around, repair your ship, and gather salvage. There are no fighter drones. This is the interstellar travel, which basically just takes a few seconds based on the distance. But whenever you do interstellar travel, it seems to increase the size of a black hole here, which, if the black hole increases in size over time, you'll eventually have to evacuate out of the sector. And you have to be careful not to get caught in the black hole, because if you say, let's say you are jumping from here to here or there, and then all of a sudden the black hole has its rim over this part, but you're here, you won't be able to jump to here, so you'll be stuck in this place and it'll be game over basically. You must, there's also the shipyards, colonies. Shipyards, you can buy and modify ships. The colonies, you can buy products and you can buy equipment and crew members and food and water, basically all your necessary needs. But here's the thing, colonies don't always have everything you need in them, so you have to be careful what colony you go to. There's also contracts, which if you accept the special contracts at the start, which I accept all of them just because it helps you, like the analyst anomalies objective allows you to get 2 hyperspace sensors straight off the bat. Now, these are quite useful money making for the start from this mission, but later on in the game, when you're making a bunch of money from trading missions and stuff like that, they don't really make that much money for you. Like, you get these incoming calls. I imagine they're going to add like a face something for someone here, but right now it's just a big yellow blob. Then you have destroy all hostile forces, so like kill people on other ships. You have deliver cargo, which I think is the most easiest way of making money. Either get cargo or move citizens. They're both quite easy money makings for the start. But later on in game, you can get missions for rescuing crew from destroyed ships. You'd have to watch out for meteorite strikes. For asteroids just flying by, you have to worry about enemies, basically random events. I think there's only a small few right now. There is also the fact that this seems to be endless. So far, it seems to be endless. Like, I haven't really went that far as to go 20 jumps into 20 sectors. You also have to build, see here, delivery blocked, so the ship will not leave until you build a storage place. I just built a normal storage place, but you can build special ones. So like, let's say you have the drones up here, but your store cargo is here. So you click logistic drones, put it here, and now guess what? The logistic drones are right beside where their launching things are. This is the trading platform where you can trade all for everything. You can sell stuff as well, but I don't really sell stuff that much. I recommend buying more than you need because you never know when there might be a system where there's no fuel available for the next few jumps. So I buy an extra few of everything there is. I don't actually need that yet. You can also buy multiple ships. So let's just show you, for example. You can prepare your jump while their trade is active, because even though the trade is active, they'll still do trade even though you're preparing for jump. Now, if you jump while the trade is active, you can risk them not paying, or you can't get the stuff back. So, for example, you even though you bought all the stuff, you jumped quite early, so all that stuff is gone. You see here? These are all pre-made ships, which on Steam, if a person makes a ship, it will actually be uploaded. If they upload it, like obviously, if they upload it, it will be uploaded straight onto the universe of ships. So, for example, if I made my own ship and uploaded it, I'll be able to get it randomly spawned in ship areas. So, like salvage, and I could even battle my own ships actually, now that I think about it. There seems to be two Tolkien destroyers, which are actually quite huge monstrous things. These would be helpful for battles, and if you notice there's thrusters, there's engines. The engines are basic propulsion systems, but the thrusters are for mobility and turning. And if you're wondering what I mean by propulsion and turning the ship, I mean tactical. If you do in tactical, you can turn the ship and do all these special things that allow you to actually battle more easily. Thing I don't like about the game, as the only thing, is that right here, a star base Icarus, which is supposed to be like a space station where you can build big fighters and all that, you can't actually do that yet. I'm hoping they add it soon enough that you will be able to build your own space stations. And also there's the fact that when you're warping with multiple ships, you have to all the ships have to warp to the same area. So you can't separate your ships amongst different jump sectors. So let's say you want one ship to go here and the other one to go here. You can't do that, which I think is very sad because that would have been a brilliant thing to do for the game. There's also the editor, which you edit your ship, and the power grid, which tells you how much power you're producing and storing. You also have to modify every ship individually, so that, let's say, this ship has 5 crew members, so you have to get enough food and water for this ship and these crew members. But then another ship might have nothing on it, so you don't share between ships your products and your resources. So that's about it. If you like this video, comment and subscribe. See you next time.